Welcome to Maths with Paro. Today's question is from January 2021 P2 paper, and it's question 8. The question is based on sequences and using the iterative formula of sequences. Let's begin. The first part of the question is to find out an expression for A2. So let me just white out everything so that it's clearer for you to see. Right, here we go. The first part is very easy. It's just a basic substitution of what we have, right? So the first part is they're telling us to find an expression for A2 in terms of P. So here we have an plus 1. Let me just highlight that for you. An plus 1 is equal to 2 into an plus 3 squared minus 7. And they want us to find A2. Now, to find A2, we have to let n be equal to 1. Then an plus 1 is going to be equal to a 1 plus 1, which is equal to A2. And that's what they're asking us to find. So when n is equal to 1, if I substitute in the expression here that we have, right, we have A2 is equal to 2 into A1 plus 3 squared minus 7. So here we have 2. And what is A1? A1 is P minus 3. So I have P minus 3 plus 3 minus 7, which is equal to 2 into P minus 3 plus P is P, and it's a squared plus 7. So I end up with let me just erase what we've done, and we will end up with 2p squared minus 7. This should be a minus 7. So I end up with 2p squared minus 7. So it's just a direct substitution of a equals 2. And we have our answer. I've written it out here as well. N equals 1. A2 is 2p squared minus 7. Now let's get on to the next part of our question, which is part B. Given that n equals 1 to 3 is equal to p plus 15, find the possible values of A2. Possible values of A2. So there's obviously more than one value. So now let's go to that part of the question. Here we are. We have so let me just white out the first A part so that we don't have any overlap. Right. So here we have n equals 1 to 3 is another way of writing A1 plus A2 plus A3. We simply substitute 1, 2, and 3 for an, and we've been given that that's equal to p plus 15. So now we already have that a1 is equal to we've been given in our equation, our first part of the equation, we were given that A1 is equal to P minus 3. So we know that already. So we're going to use that. A1 is equal to P minus 3. And what we don't have, we also have found out A2. What we don't have is A3, which we're going to go ahead and find out now. So here we have A3. Using our formula, A3 will be 2 into A2 plus 3 squared minus 7, which is 2 into A2 is 2P squared minus 7 plus 3 squared minus 7. So here what do we have? The first term A1 is equal to P minus 3. The second term A2 is 2P squared minus 7. And the third term is going to be 2 into 2P squared minus 4, the whole thing squared minus 7. And we've been given that all of it is equal to P plus 15. So now let us go ahead and expand the brackets that we have. All right. So here we have 2P squared. And then we have a plus 2 into 2P squared minus 4. We have here a P here on this side. So I'm going to cancel the P on this side with the P on the other side. This is going to be cancelled with that. And I'm going to take this minus 3 here and this minus 7, that's minus 10. And I'm going to take it onto the, and there's another 7 here, minus 17. I'm going to take it to the other side so that it's going to be added to 15 to give us 32. So here we have 32 on the right-hand side. Our left-hand side, we're left with 2P squared plus 2 into 2 times P squared minus 2 squared. Now 2 into 2 is 4. And I can divide everything. To begin with, I'm going to divide everything by, I'm just going to write all this out. There's not too much writing here. I'm going to divide this entire equation by 2. If I divide this entire equation by 2, I can forget about this 2, this 2, and this 2. So I have P squared. And then I'm going to expand 2. There's a square here, remember? So that's 4 into P2 minus 2 squared. Don't forget about the fact that this is a 2 squared, and that's how I get 4. Then 32 divided by 2 is 16. Now I'm going to just clear this up because there's too much of writing. And then I'm going to go over here and continue this part here. All right, so this box is going to be continued over here. We have P squared plus 4. And when I want to square P squared minus 2, that's going to become P to the power 4 minus 4P squared plus 4 is equal to 16. Now I'm going to expand what I can. If I expand what I can, I have, and there is a step that I haven't written. So I'm going to see if I can write it here on the side so that you can understand how we get these numbers or these expressions. So I'm going to just rewrite that as P squared. And I have a plus 4P to the power 4. And I have a minus 16 P squared, and I have a 4 into 4, which is plus 16, is equal to 16. Now I'm able to cancel what I want to. The 16 and the 16 can cancel there, and I'm going to be left with 4P to the power 4, which is here, and P squared minus 16P squared will give me minus 15P squared. All right, and that's equal to 0. So now I'm going to try to simplify this. What's common to 4p to the power 4 minus 15p squared is p to the squared. So I'm going to take that out. I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to end up with p squared. 4p to the power 4 divided by p squared is 4p squared, and I have a minus 15. So we know that when we have a quadratic equation, we simply equate each of what we have to 0. So our next step would be, we can say that p squared is equal to 0, right? And here we have p squared is equal to 0. We also have that 4p squared minus 15 equals 0. 4p squared minus 15 equals 0. So if 4p squared minus 15 equals 0, then 4p squared should be equal to 15, and then p squared should be equal to 15 over 4. So we have two. I'm going to erase the other writing so it's not too much of stuff for you. So here we have p squared equals 0 and p squared is equal to 15 over 4. Now remember that we already have an expression for a2. a2 is 2p squared minus 7. So I'm going to replace, when p squared is equal to 0, my a2 is going to be 2 times p squared, right? I have a2 is equal to 2 into p squared, which is 0, minus 7. And that's how I have a2 is equal, 2 into 0 is 0, and a2 is equal to 0 minus 7. And 0 minus 7 is the same as just 7. So I have that answer there. The next thing that I'm going to do is, I'm going to say, let p squared be equal to 15 over 4. So all p squared is equal to 15 over 4. If p squared is equal to 15 over 4, we substitute in a2, we get 2 times p squared, which is 2 times 15 over 4 minus 7. And when we simplify it, we have 15 over 2 minus 7, which is 7.5 minus 7, which is just a2. So here we have our answers for part 2, which is a2 is minus 7 and a2 is half. Thank you for watching. I hope you understood this video. And until my next video with Maths with Paru, goodbye for now.